Imagine you looked at the RSG leaderboard and it looked like this. There was a runner that had 10 out of the 24 fastest Minecraft speedrun. Now, to achieve leaderboard dominance like this, one of the most popular speedrunning categories gaming has to offer, is nearly impossible. Which is crazy, because this is exactly what Krux did in March of 2022. This isn't something that any other speedrunners are doing. While Krux takes up 10 of the 24 spots, every other spot is taken up by a unique runner. So Krux is the only runner with multiple runs on this list, and he has 10. And if you look closely, you'll realize that despite his dominance on the leaderboards, he isn't at the top of the leaderboard. This is the legendary story of crookst. To properly cover crookst, let's go back to his first run, see how it played out, and if there were any signs of a runner that was going to take over the category. He plays at Savannah Village, where he crafts tools. The crafting itself is nothing special until you consider the fact that this is his first run on the channel. This was 5 years ago, and the crafting will only improve throughout the video. Krux plans on trading for a bucket, but instead he just finds one in a chest. He gets iron pickaxe, flint and steel, and a bucket, where he loots a village and dinks down to find a lava pool, building a scuffed cave portal to enter the nether at 5:45. Krux immediately sees a housing, but stops to make gold boots first. He doesn't get that many trades, but 13 pearls is good enough for Krux, who runs for the fortress and kills blazes without fire res. Krux blinds on 20 obsidian. However, the double travel method has not been popularized yet, so he just runs on bush to the stronghold, where he mines into the portal room, entering the end at 23 minutes, where he would one cycle to get a time of 24:26. The next run, Krux uses a lava pool and a cave. He instantly gets a treasure and blinds faster than the other run at 10:20. He runs for 5 minutes before taking 2 minutes to nap. Finally, the dragon's able to perch for a sub 20. How lucky! Now, let's compare his growth by looking at 4 runs at once, like one of those cornflakes videos. In the top 2, we see the cave methods to enter the nether, while the bottom 2, the newer, faster ones, Krux decided to use shipwrecks. Let's compare his crafting from his oldest run to his newest run. A reason that Krux was so ahead of his time was his mechanics. And now we can really see that he was ahead of his time. And now we can really see signs of a great runner as his fastest runs on great pace into the fortress from a good gap stables. As he blinds, the run in the top left isn't even in the fortress. Taking a look at the fastest run, you can tell he's not even nervous despite being on big PB pace. This next run was not a sub 15, and it had a slower end enter but faster dragon perch. The next run starts as many have, with Krux seemingly forcing a shipwreck. The ship has a ton of iron, and he sees a nearby rune portal which allows him to enter the nether at 2:50. He quickly sees a housing bastion, but he takes a bit to get to it. He gets his trades in a ton of pearls, so he can pearl through the nether quickly. He kills blazes from 2 spawners, blinding at around 10 minutes, where he estimates the distance with eyes, and builds a second portal, where he reappears next to the stronghold. He sees the portal room, in this ravine, and he needs a perch for the sub 15. His next PB would feature a fashion, instant nap, and good perch, but Krux would start improving really fast. On July 15th, he'd get a 14 flat PB, but on the same day he gets this run. This run doesn't craft wood tools. Instead, he just swims to a shipwreck and starts by crafting iron tools. After another enter scare, he loots the housing bastion, and the fortress he gets to at 6 minutes, which is pretty great. He kills strays to blind at 8 minutes, and the stronghold is pretty close. But what helps is the ocean exposed portal room. When Krux gets the perch, you see how much he demolished the other times. The day after he got his 2 PBs, he would get another crazy run with another ocean exposed portal room, and an even faster end enter. He just wouldn't get the perch. 2 weeks later, Krux got a 10-minute portal room, but the next run would crank up the pace. Krux spawns in, gets all his iron, and leaves the island at 1 minute. He instantly finds a ravine where he builds a certainly 2021 2x1 portal, entering the nether in under 2 minutes, where he spawns right next to a bastion. He gets all of his trades and runs to the fortress for 30 seconds, where he enters it in 4 minutes. The run does not slow down as he kills blazes and blinds at 6:15, However, the 600 block blind does slow the run down, a lot. Into the next run, things have changed. Krux is now live and is using multiple instances. He has a mapless buried treasure where he leaves the island at 1 minute and swims into an underwater cave where he enters the nether in just over 2 minutes. The bastion is really far away, leading to a 4-minute bastion enter. But he's able to loot a housing quickly and enter the fort at 6:40, where he's able to kill blazes and blind at 8:20. The eye breaks, so he has to bank on a 1 eye. He breaks and sees the portal room, getting the 1 eye and entering the end at just over 10 minutes. The dragon takes a while to perch, but when it does, Krux finishes it off with a 12:07. He's starting to get pretty close to a sub 10, and so far Brentilda has the only sub 10 run, as the second runner to get a sub 10, and that will be backed up when Krux spawns in, loots a buried treasure, before completing a tricky rune portal to enter the nether where he runs to the bastion, picking a risky move and leaving on 12 pearls. He enters the fort at just 5 minutes with 11 pearls. Krux throws another pearl at quartz where he blinds at 7 minutes. Calculators are not allowed yet, so Krux manually measures. After running for a few minutes, he randomly throws another eye, guessing where the stronghold is, and...
What?
Now, he needs a 2 eye, but when he breaks into the portal room, he sees 3. Now he's in the end at under 10 minutes. The perch is pretty quick, where he 4-bets for an 11:15. I was talking about that sub 10 earlier, and now Krux really has a chance to do it. The day after the last run I talked about, Krux spawns in and loots this fun buried treasure where he mines down into this ravine for lava. He spawns next to a treasure bastion in the nether, where he sends his direction entering the fortress at under 5 minutes. He kills blazes, blinding at 6:30, where he mines up into the ocean to swim to an ocean exposed stronghold, not portal room, so he still has to nab, which he does, entering the end at under 9 minutes. But now, Krux decides to go for a 0 cycle, which is super uncommon at the time. The tower is super easy and Krux has a chance to get there. He fumbles with his blocks before he starts betting. And then...
No. Fucking flies away, dude.
the dragon chose to fly away, killing the sub 10. He still gets a sub 11 with the perch, but 2 months later, he would have the run. Almost. This run also starts with him looting a buried treasure, swimming down into an underwater cave where he grinds for flint before catapults into the lava, leading to a 212 nether enter. In the nether, he scans his fashion and sees the fort on the way. He loots a treasure bastion in under 2 minutes where he enters the fort in under 5. The spawner raids start off bad, but when he blinds, he does math to find the second portal coordinates. The blazes clutch up, before you know it, he's in the stronghold. He's barely on world record pace when he goes for the 0. Also, he's very low on health.
I'm not gonna survive this, man. No.
That was sad. Very. While on a lighter note, Krux spawns in and sees a shipwreck where he gets iron and digs down to enter the nether at 204. Krux instantly spots a housing bastion, the best type, where he does manhunt before he pearls and enters the fort at sub 5. He blinds at 5:30 with 2 rods, where he calculates the stronghold coordinates. He gets the rest of the rods before he enters the stronghold at 7:35. The record at the time was a 908 by cube 1337x. Krux can beat that here, or get a sub 10 at the very least. But in the stronghold, he goes the wrong way for 20 seconds before correcting his mistake. He just needs a perch. And PB! That would last less than a week. In this new PB run, Krux does mapless buried treasure entering the nether at 150. He runs to a housing where he falls behind pace, entering the fortress at 5:30, where he hangs a pearl onto blind cords and stays to get all his rods within a minute where he unhangs the pearl and blinds. The blind is very good. He instant navs to put himself in a position to sub 10 if the dragon perches on time.
What is that?
Now, this is where I normally say Krux broke his PB the next day. Well, no, this time it actually took a month. Krux was now averaging 500 concurrent viewers and was everyone's pick to break the record. Krux swims for an entire minute to get the shipwreck, which he would use to enter the nether in under 2 minutes. He sees a fortress and a bridge bastion, which he routes. He got no food from the shipwreck, so he death resets entering the fortress at 5 minutes, where the pace would go from good to something we've never seen before. Krux blinds, throws one pearl, and
We only have 3 explosives. Did I see it?
he gets wood for beds where he enters the portal room. Unfortunately, he does not actually have enough string for the beds, so he goes to the library to solve that problem. He still gets the fastest end enter ever. Now, he just needs a perch.
Second place. Whatever, man. Like, it's not world record. I don't really care.
Almost. Krux would do this other run where he entered the fort in 6 minutes, and oh, shoot, he got another sub 10. Now he's the only runner with 2. Now it's time for another run on the Krux Mount Rushmore. He spawns in and gets wooden tools where he boats to a shipwreck, entering the nether at 2:10. He instantly loses a housing to enter the fortress at 4 minutes flat. If you've been paying attention, you know what an outlier this is. The rates are not 6 for 6, but they're good enough to have his best blind by a lot. And how far is the stronghold?
Dude!
This gets Krux excited. He enters the stronghold at 7:05, where he is preempted this time, entering the end on world record pace again. He just can't get the world record. Now, sub 10s are nice, but he clearly wants the record. He just can't get the 908. Sub 10s are nice, but he just wants the record. Krux spawns in and loots a buried treasure, where he enters the nether at 1:20, spawning straight into housing with a 12-chunk fortress. He entered the fortress at 3 minutes. 4 years ago, this is an entire minute faster than the record today. Krux has 4 rods at 4 minutes, then... The stronghold is forever away, but a 4:49 is crazy. It's only 5 seconds slower than today's record. In the next run, Krux spawns in and plays a ruined portal, which doesn't give him an iron pickaxe. He enters the nether right on the blaze spawner, where he gets rods and runs to the bastion. He blinds at 5:30, spending a bit of time waiting on obsidian, then goes to quartz. He finds the portal room and is ready to go.
It's bugged.
He can still one cycle at least. Now, here we are. We are at the gates of Crookst's greatest run. Let's see what it is. This run starts out relatively slow with him looting a shipwreck that's far away and boating to a magma ravine. He quickly sees a housing bastion, and he would loot it to enter the fortress at 4 minutes. Crazy pace, but nothing insane. But the fort is insane. He uses a mixture of spawner and strays to kill 8 blazes in 40 seconds, with 6 dropping. He blinds and measures an eye where he re-enters another, gets insane terrain, and builds another portal entering the stronghold at 5:27. This stronghold enter time would last for over 500 days. For perspective, this is longer than Drip's world record stood for. The nav is what slows this run down, but still, at 6:27 end enter, it is 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the dragon to perch. But there's one problem, he needs wood. And while it might be difficult to get wood in the end, he would boat break. Basically, if you place your boat in a certain way, it would drop planks. In every Krux run so far, the perch cost him greatness for being too slow. Now, when Krux finishes the boat break and looks at the fountain, guess what he sees? Guess what he sees.